What is going on, everybody? It's your boy Destroy coming at you with our wide receiver video. Where basically I'm just going to look at all the wide receivers on the slate, look at the prices, and pick my three wide receivers for the week. Not fully picking them, but just off of who I like right now, and trying to fit it in the budget for this team. So, that being said, let's get right into it. So DeAndre Hopkins, the only 8K receiver on the slate here, playing against Tennessee, where Tennessee's offense, we've discussed it, Tennessee's offense has been the second best offense since Tannehill took over, I believe. And Houston's had to, pass the ball a lot with the lack of running back talent they have. Deshaun Watson is a quarterback capable of winning the game through the air. And DeAndre Hopkins is that number one receiver, clearly. Look what he did last week against Denver, Indianapolis, some of these tougher teams, even New England, Baltimore. They've been playing a lot of tough defenses, and he's been exceeding what he should be doing. In a really good matchup here, 8K is the only thing that, that gets you away from somebody like him. Not saying that, you got McCaffrey, Cook, Henry, and then you have Hopkins, who's the cheapest of them. So if you have that salary to where you're probably have to go after a couple cheap running backs then, or a cheaper quarterback in order to get to Hopkins. Because if you want to go the Watson Hopkins line, you're paying almost 15,000 for him combined. So you need to make sure that's what you want to do. Like I said, perfectly fine with me, especially on the road with Tennessee's offense playing the way they have. Neither defenses look spectacular. Tennessee has, like I said, the potential to have really good defense, but I don't think we're going to see it in this game here. Chris Godwin against Detroit, him being basically the number one receiver and pretty much the only starting receiver against Detroit interests me a lot. I don't think I'm going to get to Godwin, though. There's another Tampa Bay player I like, and I kind of don't want to do a Tampa Bay stack because if you go Godwin and the other play I'm targeting, then you have to go Winston. Because you're targeting two players from the same team, which means the quarterback should have a good game as well. But Jameis Winston at 6'9" is just really hard for me to get to. So probably going to stay away from Godwin and Winston unless something pops up. Devontae Adams pops up on the injury report against Chicago. I actually didn't see this. His toe again. He's going to play. It's a huge divisional game. He's going to play. I'd be surprised if he doesn't. But yeah, I'm not going to go after him in this game against the Bears. Granted, I do believe he's going to have a good game. It's just paying $7,600 for a tough opponent is really hard to get to. Just like it is for Tyreek Hill. Tyreek Hill, I think, is one of my most interesting plays here that I really like. You look at his numbers since he came back. And when he came back, I mean, really, really good numbers. Getting targeted, around 8 times, the majority of the games at least, couple with low targets. But that happens. It's football. He's playing Denver. And you look what he did against Denver last time. Same price. He only had 3 receptions for 74 yards and a touchdown. I don't think that's going to happen again. I think he's in a really, really not favorable matchup. But Kansas City is going to need to score, and they need to go to their number one receiver this game. In my opinion, they're going to be at home. If Denver's offense can do what Denver's offense has done with Drew Lock as the quarterback and score, Kansas City's going to have to throw the ball, and I really like Tyreek Hill for that fact. Stephon Diggs, I continue to say if Thielen plays, I'm okay with playing a Minnesota receiver. Adam Thielen just hasn't played since week 9. And it helps Diggs, but it hurts Diggs at the same time. You look at his numbers since week 9, two decently good games, and the rest have been subpar average. But like I said, it's a toss-up if you want to go Diggs without Thielen in this matchup. Kenny Galladay against Tampa Bay. I think Kenny Galladay now is a really, really good play. Detroit, the only problem I have here is David Blow. Look decently good. He's going to be without Marvin Jones Jr. here. So Kenny Galladay pops up as the number one receiver. I think that's it's interesting how both teams is number 2 quotation mark. Number 2 receiver goes down. So Galladay pops up as the number 1 against the worst pass defense in the league. So if Blow can throw the ball, Kenny Galladay is in a really good spot this week for some big points, especially being home. So definitely like Kenny Galladay here. Edelman, I don't think I'm going to target anybody from the pass game for New England. Edelman clearly is he's Julian Edelman. He's going to continue to do what he's done. Like, you look at his numbers all season. One second. Ooh, I had a yawn that was just holding in. Anyway, sorry about that. He's been really consistent all season. They're playing a terrible Cincinnati defense, but has been holding teams under passing. But their rush defense is terrible, and I think New England is going to take advantage of that, of having Sony Michel, James White, and Burkhead playing Cincinnati. So, like I said, that's why we have James White in there in the lineup, just because I feel like New England's going to run the ball a lot. They're still going to pass the ball like it's Tom Brady. It's New England. They're going to get some yards. Edelman's going to get his, but I'd rather just go with a running back in that game. Julio Jones at 7,000 is interesting to get him at 7,000. Lowest he's been all season. And normally that would be like a instant let's play him. But he's playing San Francisco's defense, who is, number 1 right there for the pass defense. And Atlanta has been very sloppy lately. A lot of injuries. Matt Ryan just hasn't been playing like he hasn't been in the beginning of the season. But yeah, the thing that makes it a little more interesting for me is the fact that Calvin Ridley is out, so Julio easily becomes the number 1 receiver there. But at the same time, Austin Hooper might get some more looks as well. So, got to see if I do want to target Atlanta against the best pass defense in the league and see how that goes. Tyler Lockett, how this guy has costed me my fantasy season. Week 9, impressive numbers all season until week 10. Pretty, decent for fantasy. 9.1 is his lowest one, but he's gotten over 10 every other game. And then this man, Tyler Lockett, is combined for 18 points in 4 games. That's a little less than 5 points a game. Yeah, I'm not going to say anything positive about Tyler Lockett. I'm not going to say anything negative. I'm just going to say that I'm not going to touch him at all. I don't care if he goes off for two touchdowns, 200 yards, 10 receptions. Good for him. I really hope he does, but I'm not going to target him anymore this season. Mike Evans is done for the season. Allen Robinson, I'm iffy on Chicago passing game in this big divisional game. Granted, you look what he did week one in that Thursday game. Um, he did really good. 7 receptions, 102 yards, didn't get a touchdown. The Bears didn't get a touchdown. Um, and he can easily do this again, especially being a huge game. 6,800 is just what is risky for me. It's the same thing with Devontae Adams. Like both of them are gonna get theirs in a really big divisional game. I just like the defenses in this game more than I like the offenses. Jarvis Landry apparently popped up on the injury report. I didn't see that. Okay, he's on the injury report. If Odell plays or if Odell is out, he has the issue. Um, Landry is easily become the receiver that I wanted him to become in the beginning of the year, but it was hard to go for him when he only had 3 games above 20 points. Um, but he's been playing pretty good all season. I mean, with God, it's hard to talk about Cleveland's offense. It really is. But yeah, I like Jarvis Landry at 6,700 against Arizona. Arizona's pass defense is terrible. That whole defense is just, like I said, I thought it would get better with Patrick Peterson in. It hasn't. That offense is terrible as well. DJ Moore has been, clearly the number one receiver for that team. I'm just not too high on him. High on him against Seattle right now. Granted, I think Carolina's going to pass the ball a little bit more this week, especially when they're done. And they're going to give McCaffrey less reps. But I just don't like that Carolina offense here this week. Emmanuel Sanders is somebody I'm perfectly fine of getting to. Like, I really am. I am so much that I'm just going to put him in the lineup to go with Garoppolo. Sanders is 6,600, which I think is a fair price for him. You look at his numbers, and they haven't been really all there since joining San Francisco. He's had a few good games, and then he's had games to where he has been non-existent. Atlanta has a decently okay rush defense. You see there, it's average. But the thing that I like this game is the passing is 24 and the points per game 25, 25.5, which is almost 4 touchdowns a game they give up. I do think that Garoppolo and Sanders are going to have to get some type of chemistry before the playoffs here because you have to be there offensively. As a unit, you have to have a really good chemistry. So yeah, I'm going to go Emmanuel Sanders to add with Jimmy Garoppolo. Cooper Kupp at 6,500. I mean, we haven't seen him besides the Seattle game this cheap since week 5 against Seattle. You have to watch the injuries with the Rams. I don't believe we could check. We could check. Let me actually check right now and see if anyone popped up on the injury report that I didn't see. No. So no one's on the injury report. Robert Woods. I'll just go over Robert Woods and Cooper Kupp at the same time. Robert Woods' numbers have been really impressive since week 8. You look at that. When he got injured, he came back, and he's been good. He's been really good. His targets have been at least 9, which is phenomenal. And all 4 games, one game 172 yards that you could see, all 4 games close to 100. So he's clearly becoming close to passing Cooper Kupp for that number 1. But I think Cooper Kupp's in another good spot here. I believe this game should be a decently scoring game. The only issue I have with the Rams passing game is the Rams rushing game. Todd Gurley at a fairly good price. We talked about him the other day. He's gotten, 41, 42 carries in the last 2 games, which is really impressive. Because you look at his numbers all season, they've been below 20 for the most part. 25 against the Bears. But he's had 21 in the last 2 games. combined 21, and he's gotten touchdowns in both those games. So Todd Gurley is going to continue to get a bigger workload towards the end of the season. All running backs do. Where were we? So that's where it brings a little shakiness. Brandon Cooks, I thought would be um, be a bigger target than Robert Woods would be, just based off of how they've been as a receiving core when all three are healthy. But Robert Woods is just outplaying everyone right now in that Rams offense. So it's really hard to say who you want to play, especially against Dallas. Todd Gurley, I think, is in a really good spot for a couple touchdowns. Probably Gurley and Higbee or Everett, whatever tight end is going to be starting for the Rams, is probably my two most favorite plays here. Cooper Kupp, Woods, still good plays. It's just I don't know if I want to get to them. With how crazy the numbers could be for the Rams. If you mispick one Ram player, there's another Ram player that's going to be decently owned too. That if you don't get him, he's going to hurt you a little bit. Amari Cooper against the Rams. I want to play Amari Cooper. You look what they did against the Bears. Scored 24 points. All of that was in the fourth quarter, garbage time. Bears just trying to kill the clock. It should be a decently scoring game. I like Michael Gallup a little more than I like Amari Cooper here, just because of the matchups. Devontae Parker, if he plays, I'm fine with playing. I'd rather rather get to Allen Hurns. There we go, tongue twister. Rather get to Allen Hurns, just based off of Parker's concussion. So we'll see where Devontae Parker's concussion issue brings us on Sunday. If he doesn't play, Allen Hurns is really cheap against a really bad pass defense and being the number one receiver. So definitely going to have to watch injuries there. Odell, like I said, I'm playing Landry if Landry's fully healthy, no matter the in or out of Beckham. Keenan Allen's really cheap at 6,300 against Minnesota's defense. I just prefer going Eckler here. I don't really want to go anybody from the Chargers. But Mike Williams is becoming a bigger target in that offense, which is nice because he's finally doing what they needed him to do, and they're just giving him the ball. And Keenan Allen hasn't been putting up high 20-point gains, which he is capable of and which he should. And he hasn't got a 100-yard receiving game since week 3, which kind of worries me a little bit. The only way I see him doing something crazy this week is if it's a high-scoring game. That's it. Minnesota's pretty good at defensively, at least not allowing a lot of touchdowns, so probably just going to stay away from Keenan Allen this week as well. Thielen, like I said, if Thielen plays it gives me more interest for the Minnesota receivers, more Thielen than Diggs. DJ Chark against Oakland, I don't know. I don't know what to do with that Jacksonville offense just because of the quarterback situation, the injuries for the receivers. So I'm probably... Oh, man, it's hard to say. It's hard to say. I'm going to put DJ Chark as a yes for right now, but I don't know if I want to get to him, though. We talked about Woods. Metcalf, God, for 6,100, it's hard to say that I'd go Metcalf over Lockett, but I'm not. My opinion is way too expensive for a player that gets 10 to 12 points, consistently. He's had one good game against the Tampa Bay terrible defense. Going against a decent defense here, nothing too spectacular. And his numbers have been really consistent, but I don't think I'm going to pay $6,100 for DK Metcalf here. AJ Brown, I think, is another player that I'm just going to put in the lineup right now. Clearly being Tennessee's number one receiver. Been having some really, really impressive numbers with Tannehill. 2 games with over 100 yards. He had 2 touchdowns last week. which really helped, and he's in another good matchup here. So I think I'm just going to lock him in right now. Yeah, I like him. Ridley and Jeffrey done for the season. We know that. Cortland Sutton being number one receiver against Kansas City here. Or Denver against Kansas City, yes. I like Philip Lindsay here more than I like Cortland Sutton, and I like Noah Fant more than I like Cortland Sutton. Cortland Sutton is clearly the number one receiver and only receiver by a far margin. But I think Kansas City is going to know that fact, and they're going to put double coverage on Cortland Sutton a lot this week. So I'm probably going to stay away. Golden Tate is 5,900 against Miami. Depending on the quarterback situation, it should be Eli again. Like I said, I just like Barkley against a terrible run defense, and when they need to just build up the confidence of that team for next season, Saquon's my favorite play here for the Giants. I'm probably going to stay away from the Giants receivers. Might go Slayton again, just because his price is really, really good. It's 4,700, which is, you look at his numbers, and why is he gone down? You know, why is he gone down? Just kills me there. So yeah, probably going Slayton here. Adrian Green, I'm not going to play even if he does play. Deebo Samuel, you could go any receiver from San Francisco. Deebo Samuel is probably in one of the best matchups, and he's been putting up some of the most consistent numbers lately since San Francisco started to pass again. So if you wanted to, you could easily play Deebo Samuel here. I just like Sanders for the touchdown. Michael Gallup, like I said, I'd play Michael Gallup over Amari Cooper any day right now. Will Fuller, just got to watch the injuries between Will Fuller and Kenny Stills. Maybe brings interest to somebody else on Houston, but I'd prefer going DeAndre Hopkins over the other two. Tyler Boyd not getting two against New England. Christian Kirk, I'm not going to get to against Cleveland. That offense has been all over the place. Sterling Shepard, I'm not going to get to either. Sterling Shepard, I think, is in a better position than Golden Tate is right now. But I like Slayton over the other two. Terry McLaurin is another player. If Dwayne Haskins can actually be consistent, this Philly defense can be really terrible at times. And with a banged up running back core, they might have to throw the ball a little more. At 5,300, McLaurin is very, very, very cheap. Last week he was 5,100, but he's been above 6K for the last 7-8 weeks. So for him to be at 5,300, I think is a really good price for him. Like I said, against a Philly team, week one put up really good numbers. So 5,300, I really like him. His price point there, I really like the matchup. So I'm fine with playing McLaurin. Anthony Miller, been really, really good. But like I said, I'm probably going to stay away from that game unless it's defensively. Gage, no. There's no way you should play Gage here. Sammy Watkins, I just prefer going Tyreek Hill. I really would. Tyrell Williams just hasn't put up numbers to make you pay up for, or just pay for him. And then the interesting plays that I think right now is these two guys at 4,700. Watch the injuries, like I said, for Devontae Parker. If Devontae Parker is out, Allen Hurns is in a really good spot. I'm going to go ahead and pick my third receiver right now, guys, and that's going to be Slayton. I like his matchup. But like I said, Allen Hurns can easily do really good. Put up 11.8 points against the Jets last week. He's going against the Giants this week at the same stadium. It's not like they're different stadiums. If Devontae Parker's out, I really like Allen Hurns there. Injuries, like I said, for Jacksonville, you have to watch it. I just don't like the quarterback situation there. It's hard for me to commit. Mike Williams did pop up on the injury report. I don't know if I want to get to him at 4,600. It's a very good price for him. That offense can easily explode. Like I said, it's just the touchdowns that stand out. Rashard Perryman, I think, is the last person I'm going to talk to on the wide receivers. At 4,500, paying for somebody who's going to be the number 2 receiver, basically, against a terrible Detroit team, you can easily go Perryman here. He's not a bad play. Really good price. Really terrible defense he's going against. So yes, if I know I said there's one other guy I'd target, but looking at Perriman, just thinking about it, yes, I'm fine with paying 4,500 for a number 2 receiver against the top 10 worst pass defenses in the league. One of them, so I'm fine with paying that. I think one other guy I want to talk about really quick is going to be Danny Amendola. At 4,100, he still is going to be the slot receiver for the team. I think he is going to get a few more targets than normal. So as long as he can get the receptions for him, he's going to get the yardage. Paying 4,100 for somebody that's probably going to get you at least 10 points in this matchup, I like it. I like it a lot. He's my last guy that I would consider going, unless there's other injuries that pop up. He's probably the only other guy that I would get to, the cheapest guy that I would get to, unless some injuries pop up, guys. But that's it. I hope you guys all did enjoy the video. Leave a like if you did, subscribe to show support, and follow us on Twitter at Astrodfs. Thanks, guys.